History is filled with heroes. We usually think of kings, generals, and presidents, people who shaped the world with obvious power. But some of the most powerful stories come from those who had no power at all. They come from the shadows, from people who were told they were nothing, but chose to become everything. This is one of those stories. It's about a woman born as property, brutalized and broken, who refused to be defined by her chains. It's a story of impossible courage, unshakable faith, and a defiance so profound it would not only win her freedom, but carve a path for thousands to follow. She was born into slavery, suffered a traumatic brain injury from an overseer, and was told she was worth less than the animals in the field. So how did this one woman, with nothing but her faith and her will, become one of the most legendary freedom fighters in American history? This is the story of Harriet Tubman. To understand the legend, you have to understand the world that made her. Harriet Tubman was born Araminta Ross, called Minty, by her family around 1822 in Dorchester County, Maryland. Her parents, Harriet Ritt Green and Ben Ross, were enslaved by two different masters, a cruel practice designed to break families apart. From her first breath, Minty was property of the Broaddus family. The system of slavery was built to dehumanize. Under the chattel principle, enslaved people were not humans, but property, bought, sold, or inherited like furniture. Family bonds could be broken at any moment. It was psychological torture that lasted generations. Minty's childhood was no childhood at all. At just 5 or 6 years old, she was hired out to watch a baby. If the baby cried, she was whipped. She remembered being lashed 5 times before breakfast. The scars on her body lasted her entire life. She worked in icy marshes, setting muskrat traps, plowed behind oxen, hauled logs through forests. This labor, begun as a child, built a body of strength and endurance, traits that would one day save countless lives. Her mother, Rit, was fierce and unbreakable. When a trader came to buy her youngest son, Rit stood in her cabin doorway and warned, "You are after my son, but the first man that comes into my house, I will split his head open." The men backed away. That story planted a seed in Minty's mind. Resistance was possible. Life under slavery was terror, but it was also a world of quiet strength. Enslaved people created secret songs, stories, and symbols. They read the stars and the wind, and found ways to communicate right under their masters' noses. Minty grew up in this hidden culture, learning survival, patience, and the first whispers of rebellion. One day, when she was a teenager, an event changed her life forever. She walked into a general store just as an overseer was trying to capture an enslaved man. When she refused to help restrain him, the overseer hurled a 2-pound metal weight. It missed him and struck her in the head. "The weight broke my skull," she said later. She was carried home, unconscious and bleeding. Her mother nursed her, but the damage was done. From then on, Harriet suffered dizzy spells and sudden deep sleeps, what we now know as epilepsy or narcolepsy. Her enslavers saw her as damaged, but something else was awakening within her. She began having vivid dreams and visions. She called them messages from God. She believed they were divine signs, guiding her and warning her of danger. The blow meant to break her had opened something inside her. It gave her an unshakable faith, and a fearless sense of destiny. Years later, she would say that God had chosen her for a purpose, and that purpose was freedom. Around 1844, Minty married a free black man named John Tubman. She took his last name and changed her first name to Harriet, in honor of her mother, but marriage couldn't change the law. If she had children, they would still be slaves. When her enslaver, Edward Broadus, died in 1849, Harriet knew what was coming. His estate would be sold to pay debts, and she would be part of that sale. The threat of being sold down the river to the deep south was a death sentence. She begged her husband to escape with her, but he refused. He even threatened to report her if she ran Dot, so she made her choice. There was one of two things I had a right to, she said, liberty or death. If I could not have one, I would have the other. In September 1849, she ran away with her brothers, but fear overcame them, and they turned back. Harriet stood alone in the darkness, terrified yet resolute. Going back meant certain slavery. Going forward meant freedom or death. She kept walking. I had reasoned this out in my mind, she said later. No man should take me alive. I should fight for my liberty as long as my strength lasted. Alone, guided only by the North Star and her faith, she walked into the unknown. That was the moment Minty Ross ceased to exist, and Harriet Tubman was born. The 90-mile journey from Maryland to Pennsylvania took weeks. She traveled at night, hid in the woods by day, and trusted the secret network known as the Underground Railroad. It wasn't a real railroad, but a chain of brave souls, black and white, who risked everything to help others escape. She followed coded signs, a lantern in a window, a quilt on a clothesline. She crossed icy rivers, evaded dogs and patrols, and prayed constantly. Her faith carried her when her strength failed. When she finally crossed into Pennsylvania, she said, "When I found I had crossed that line, I looked at my hands to see if I was the same person. There was such a glory over everything. The sun came like gold through the trees. I felt like I was in heaven." She found work in Philadelphia and earned her own living. But freedom, she soon realized, wasn't complete while her family remained enslaved. So she went back. In 1850. Harriet Tubman returned to Maryland and led her sister and her 2 children to freedom. It was the first of many missions. Over the next decade, she would make 13 trips and lead about 70 people to liberty and guide dozens more through her example. She rescued her family, her friends, and total strangers. She lost her husband. He had remarried, but she never lost her resolve. They called her Moses, and she proudly said, "I never ran my train off the track, and I never lost a passenger." Her success was no accident. She was a master strategist, a brilliant navigator, and a fearless leader. She used coded songs. Wade in the water meant to hide in the river. Go down, Moses meant she was near. She wore disguises, carried chickens for distractions, and even used a pistol to stop anyone from turning back. Failure was not an option. When the Civil War began, Harriet joined the Union Army. At first, she worked as a nurse, then as a spy and scout. In 1863, she helped plan and lead the Combahee River Raid, the first U.S. military operation led by a woman. Her guidance freed over 700 enslaved people in one night. After the war, she continued to fight for women's suffrage, for dignity, and for justice. She opened a home for the elderly and poor in Auburn, New York, and gave everything she had to others. Harriet Tubman died in 1913 and was buried with full military honors. She was more than a conductor on the Underground Railroad. She was a soldier, a strategist, a humanitarian, and a symbol of unbreakable faith. Her life was her message. Keep going. Harriet Tubman's life is a monumental testament to the power of one person's defiance. Her journey is one of the most inspiring sagas in history. If her story of courage moves you, make sure to subscribe for more stories of incredible figures who changed the world. And let us know in the comments, what part of Harriet's journey do you find most awe-inspiring?